What's going on, guys? Kamp PB&J back out here.
You've got D-Jelly.
You've got PB.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, we're actually headed back to Florence today. So if you remember back, the last trip we went on Snake Island.
Cypress Creek.
Yeah, Cypress Creek. We stayed on Snake Island. Mr. Ron Beverness came down and visited with us. That was his property we stayed on. Well, he actually sent PB a text message asking for a little help. There's a big tree stump in the middle of the creek, and it's kind of got a lot of buildup around it. And he asked if Kamp PB&J wanted to help him out.
Hey, and what happens when you call Kamp PB&J? We come and we deliver.
Yep. So we are headed there now. We've got about maybe 20 miles till we get there. And Mr. Ron was nice enough. You know, we're gonna help him out. He's got a tractor and a skid steer and some cables, and we're gonna try our best to get as much out of the creek as we can. And he's gonna cook us a little dinner, and we're gonna hang out with him for a little while, and we're gonna try to video some of removing all of the debris and stuff. And we kind of figured while we were there we'd make a trip out of it too. So we're gonna hang some hammocks back on Snake Island, I believe.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing. Like, the more we talked about, hey, let's get over here and do this. Originally, we weren't even thinking about filming it or doing anything like that. We were just gonna come over here and help. But like, hey, why not make an adventure out of it? So come out here and get it done.
Yep.
Figured we might as well camp. So I texted him back and I said, hey, what do you think about if we just camp on the island that night? And he said, sounds ideal to him. Y'all just plan on eating, we'll grill some burgers, and then y'all can camp. So that's what we're gonna do.
Yep, we're gonna try to get as much footage of us trying to remove some of these stumps and trees and whatever else is kind of in the way. One of Mr. Ron's worries was that, you know, it's start of season. This is in April, so people are starting to get out and about and kayaking, and he didn't want anybody to get hurt or anything like that. So we're going to try to get as much out as we can today and camp tonight. All right, guys, we just got to Mr. Ron Beverness's house. We are going back down to Snake Island. We stopped by his house to grab him and kind of get some details about everything that's going on. But it's a pretty awesome place here. Beautiful. Following him, he's got his friend that he went to medical school with in tow, and going down here to see the situation. Alright, so the next little bit of footage was actually taken by Mr. John, Ron's friend from medical school. These are just a few still shots of us before we started, just so you guys kind of have an idea what it looked like before. We're just kind of standing around, you know, debating on which way is the best to tackle this thing. So
If we can get a hold of this, pull it out this way.
So I think that's one under the water. Is that where we're at? There's a huge stump under here, under the water. All this is sitting on top of it.
alright, so these next few clips were actually videoed by Mr. John too. Me and PB had, you know, great intentions of setting up cameras and stuff, but we ended up, you know, being in the water and muddy most of the time. And as you can kind of tell by what we're looking at here, you know, there's this one main half of a tree essentially stuck in the ground that had got washed down, and it is just trapped, you know, basically trees. There's huge logs that we get out of here. And we're just trying to get it cleaned up for everybody. You know, kayaking season is right around the corner, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video. So Mr. Ron really wanted to get it cleaned up so, you know, people could pass it, for one, because right now it's kind of impassable. And two, just so nobody would get hurt. So I hope you guys enjoy the next few minutes of footage. I'm not going to talk a whole lot. I'll let you guys sit back and enjoy.
too much of a big daddy. Whose takeout is that?
Look at these strong men.
This current ain't helping. This thing. Is that close enough to where he can maybe get that chain on it now? I think so. It's stuck on that one that's underneath it. I got it. Here it goes.
All right.
Let it go.
I'm just trying to get
And that could be a canoe.
Send it down to my neighbor's property. Let him worry about it.
Yeah. It's his life. Get off the slack back now, probably.
Go up! Got a land caught on the bank.
Hey, Mr. Ron. Got a limb caught on the bank right here. I have to try to lift it up a little bit.
not completely clear. It's pretty clear.
Couple little branches overhanging over there. I think what I'll have to do if you got too many trees, maybe go back around those trees on the other side.
All right, guys, we're out here on Snake Island. Kind of see the creek over here. We finished cleaning up the log jam a few minutes ago. Came down here before dark to set up the hammocks right over here. We got D Jelly over here trying to get some clothes packed up. We're about to go back up to Mr. Ron's house. They're actually going to let us take a shower. We got pretty wet and muddy. So we're going to take a shower. They're going to cook some burgers for us. We're going to come back down here and hang out. Talk to y'all later.
So I told them, you know,
Are you using Mac or PC?
so I use PC and I use Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
So I have a MacBook and I've tried to edit. What's the software, the editing software on Mac? Are you familiar with it? I'm going blank on the name for that one.
Oh,
16th century.
yeah. It's on the tip of my tongue. I
It's
understand.
Apple offers it like free.
Yes.
You don't have to.
Yes.
Yeah, I've tried using that, but it's just I've got so I call it getting sucked into the Adobe bubble. But I can access all of their non-copyrighted music, video overlays, different things like that. So it's just, and I've learned the software, learned all the shortcuts, and so it's just it's easier.
What I want to do is.
I use Adobe Photoshop, and I've got 2023. Yeah, I've got the latest,
And I don't like talking
and it's all I
about when I
really.
can't hear
I
people
don't
anyway, so let's
subscribe.
have a
Yeah.
conversation.
Mr. Ron was saying you live in Florida.
I live in Valrico, which is the farthest east you can go and still be part of Tampa.
Okay.
Live by the strawberry patches.
I have an aunt and uncle and a cousin that live in Clearwater.
Yeah, they're right down by the water. Yeah. Takes about 45 minutes to get there through traffic.
We were in
Right.
Tampa. We were in Tampa last year. I did like a vacation package where it's like included SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, and so we did SeaWorld, Discovery Cove, Aquatica, and then we drove to Tampa one day and did Busch Gardens. That was fun. Busch Gardens is an awesome place.
Gentlemen, I think we're about ready to eat here.
At Busch Gardens, I like the roller coaster where you make a loop.
Committees where
Yeah.
everybody's calling to.
We frequently, well, not frequently, whenever we can, we like to go to Ingalls Landing. Not for any particular reason, except it's a place to go and it's an easy place to walk the dog. Okay, we can tie up and it's free. I mean, there's no power or water there, but we can tie up. And sometimes we'll go down there and spend a couple of days. But this is our time of year when the days are nice and it starts getting cooler. At nighttime, it's still good sleeping. You don't have to run an air conditioner. It's kind of hard to sleep on the boat sometimes when it's 90 degrees outside.
It's hot.
Yeah.
So
I'm old. I don't do that anymore. I mean, I've camped. I've lived on a sailboat for 2.5 years. I'm done.
Yeah.
I want my
You
air
paid your
conditioning.
dues, right?
I want my air conditioning. I want my shower. Those are my two
Right.
primary.
that's what you said when I built the boat up for you. You said I'll go anywhere in the world as long as I can have air conditioning and take a shower. And God, do we have air conditioning and do we have a shower?
So guys, you remember Mr. Ron from the last video here, and then this is his wife, Miss Carol, and then this is John. John and Ron have been friends for 54 years. I think that's pretty cool, and they're the OG PB&J. But so we cleared the area down there today, and then we set up camp, and they came up here. Miss Carol let us take a hot shower after being in that cold water for a little bit, and she fed us some good burgers and potato salad and baked beans and pie, So just want to introduce you guys to these nice people.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. You've got PB. You can get up.
Yet.
Hmm?
I ain't ready yet.
It's a shame, guys. I'm trying to get him up out here. Just waking up this morning. You guys have seen this place before. We're fast forwarding to the next morning here, guys, because by the time we left Mr. Ron and Miss Carol's house last night, we were both just exhausted. We sat around the fire for a little bit and hung out, but we pretty much went to sleep pretty quick and just enjoyed a nice morning out here. Reese from yesterday's video actually got to come out and bring us, he owns a coffee shop called Turbo Coffee, and he brought us 2 nice cups of hot coffee. Unfortunately, we didn't get too much footage of that, but you know, we were just sitting there talking with him, and he's actually the new landowner of this property, so it was nice to go ahead and meet him, you know, for some of our future adventures and stuff like that. And he was a really nice guy, and you guys should definitely check out Turbo Coffee if you're in the area.
So a while back, we had a company email us and wanted to send us a chair to try out and talk to you guys about. So we got this T-set chair in the mail, and we brought it out here last night and we're trying it out. Dylan actually sat in it most of the night and used it.
Yeah, it's, you know, I think you typically kind of seen like the Helinox and then a couple of the other brand chairs that we bring on camping trips. And this chair is very similar. I think that the actual seat part of it is a little longer and a little wider than a typical Helinox. And it weighs right at 3 pounds. So a little bit heavier than a Helinox, but it still does pack up pretty easy. And I don't think it would be too big of a hassle to take on a camping trip.
It's not something you're gonna backpack across the Appalachian Trail or anything like that. You're not gonna put it in a lightweight situation, but for what we mostly do, sticking it in a kayak, that extra 3.7 pounds is not usually a big deal. And when you compare that weight to like a Helinox Chair 1, I think it's like 1 pound 15 ounces to where this one's 3.7. So it is a little heavier, but it's got a pretty cool feature that we'll show you.
Yeah, this is the part of the reason that it is a little heavier, because it has this mechanism on the bottom that allows you to freely turn around 360 degrees.
So like if you're cooking or you're messing with a fire over here and you got a little something you're making over here, you can kind of spin back and forth and makes that a whole lot easier.
Or like earlier, I was sitting by the fire and, you know, I was watching the fire, but then I wanted to turn around and just look at the creek beside us. So I think it's pretty cool in that regard.
And something I kind of like about it is when you go to open it, it's all spring fed. So you tie all this stuff up, you gotta unleash this strap right here and the chair's out. You pull these bars out and you're ready to go. There's no putting the bars all together like with most portable camping chairs. You're not having to fix everything and then put the net on. This is one piece. It all just pretty much flips out and you're ready to go. So what we'll do now is we'll actually set the Helinox Chair 1 next to it, and you can kind of see the size comparison. So you remember the Helinox Chair 1, you've seen it in probably every video we've done. This one's been in there, and the chair comparison video that we did, we talked about this one. So you kind of see that it sits a little bit, just a little bit lower than the T-Sec, and it's a little bit smaller. which is still not a bad deal. I sat in this one most of the night last night. I've spent a lot of hours in this chair, and it's always been comfortable and nice to me. But if you are a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, this is gonna fit you probably a little bit better.
And one thing I'm just noticing that I paid attention to last night, the feet on here are a little bit wider and more rectangular, so I think a little less prone to sink up in the mud or sink up in the sand. I know in the past, I think in our chair review video that we did, one of the chair legs sunk in there, and so I think that definitely helps keep your chair more on the ground, and if you're in kind of a muddy or wet area, maybe not sink as much.
Especially a lot of times we're on the side of a creek or a river, and the ground might be a little wet, or we're on a little sandy, pebbly area like we are now. Having that stability there, that's a really nice feature they put on there.
Yeah, so overall, I think this is a well-made chair. It's comfortable. It's not super heavy. It's going to be, like you said, you're probably not going to take it on a really long backpacking trip, but for the stuff we do, setting up around a fire, going to different little campsites and stuff like that where you're going to set up camp for a little while, I think this is definitely an awesome chair.
And actually, one of the things I kind of worried about when we first got it is because all this mechanism is centered around where this kind of spreads out. I thought, is it going to be stable? No, every time I've sat in it, I've never felt like I was unstable. I never felt like it was going to tip or break or anything like that, because this is all metal construction where, this is more lightweight chair, but it's more plastic and lightweight materials. They built this to last. All right, so I'm going to kind of show you how it packs down. It's fairly easy, especially after you kind of get the hang of it, which I've only done it one time. But if you want this chair, we'll put a link down below, and you can get it on the T-Sec website, tcek.com, and I think it's $89, but we'll put the link down below if you're interested. But it's got these little extendable bars here, so just like you've seen on tents and stuff like that, you're going to spread all that down on all four corners. And then you take this part, the legs, you fold them up, wrap the Velcro strap around them. Then you take the seat part, just got its own strap, and you fold it up like there, just like there. You kind of got to turn it to where the legs fit in there. Wrap the strap around. There you go.
Packed up,
It
ready
comes
to
in
go.
a little bag. We'll stick it in the bag, and that packs up fairly small. I would say about the same size as the Helinox, maybe a little bit bigger, but not really anything to compare it to. All right, guys, just back at Jelly's house. Finished up a little fun time cleaning out the log jam, doing a little camping.
Yep.
Had some good burgers and tacos.
Little chair review.
Yeah. So, hope you guys enjoy the video. Stay tuned for the next adventure. Oh, and roll tide and love you, boy.
Okay, before we get into the before and after pictures, I wanted to put a few pictures of the night we got back. Mr. Ron and Miss Carol actually invited us to the boat that they had built, and it was amazing. We got to bring our families out there, and the woodwork and attention to detail in there was just crazy. So thank you for the invite. We had a good time. Hey guys, just wanted to come in and say thanks for watching the video again. I know this one probably is a little more scattered than normal and maybe not so well put together, but kind of the sole purpose going on this trip was to kind of clear this log jam out, and we kind of made a camping trip out of it, kind of secondly, I guess. Also, hope you enjoyed the T-Sec chair review. Let us know what you think about that down below in the comments, and you can check out the screen here for a couple of our other videos. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.